This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming today to Lottie Da. We are, it's a solo act today. We have lots of baby stuff that is going on and vehicle issues. So Kim decided that the family stuff was going to be more important than coming to the show here, which is okay. But tomorrow she'll be back for the show with the mayor at Wahoo Willie's. But we have a fine lineup of guests today and topics to talk about in the heat of the summer. You may recognize these two folks who've been on the show many times. And I believe if you look out this window here, they used to have a location right here in Times Square called Mangaritas. And now they operate Mangaritas Rhythm House on 41 in it's kind of South Fort Myers, right? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, South Fort Myers, yep.
And there's a lot of stuff going on there. So first of all, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, really good.
Good, very good, very good. And so you guys still come back to the beach every once in a while and tool around and take a look at how things are going. Have you heard anything about Times Square?
Nothing. Tom calls us every once in a while from Lola to, fill us in on what's happening with his businesses. But other than that, I haven't heard a whole lot.
Yeah. And do you have any news that you might be coming back to the beach in any way, shape, or form in some future location, not Times Square?
Not in the next few months, but possibly we'll be coming somewhere close, possibly in the future.
You hesitated a little bit there. So when might you be able to make an announcement on that?
Well, we have a new opportunity at our current place, so we kind of put our other venture on hold for the time being, but that doesn't mean that we're not still pursuing that option.
Right. One of the things that I found interesting was when Susie put her property on the market on Old San Carlos, it was like 800 square feet. I mean, for $4 million. I mean, it was a little bit longer than that, but it was a lot of money. Have you experienced that kind of issue when you're shopping around for a place on the beach?
For sure. I mean, I think it's just, for instance, where we were located, I believe that property's $8 or $9 million. So it's to me, it's not going to be a local person or entity that purchases those properties to be able to be profitable. So your best bet is to kind of go off the beach a little bit and see if there's something available that may be within a mile or two of the beach.
Yeah. So do you like my new shirt?
Love it.
Yeah, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah. So Kim was wearing it last week, and she purposely left it here after the party last week, and so she doesn't have one anymore, and I don't know what happened
so
to
you're
it.
wearing Kim's shirt?
No, I'm not.
Trying to tell me?
No, not at all. So you guys are grandparents, right?
We are.
Any advice?
Four times over.
4 times. Wow. You don't look old enough to have 4 grandkids.
Yeah.
How old are they?
13, 3, 2, and 9 months.
Wow. Are they all here? All 4 of them?
No, only one.
Just one. And so any advice for Kim? Because I know what to do.
Spoil him or her. Is it a boy or a girl?
It's going to be a boy. His name
Little
is
boy.
Hunter. And so, yes.
Congrats.
So, yeah.
Congrats.
All right.
Best thing ever.
Yeah. So you guys, shortly after the storm, you opened up or purchased what was then
just called the Rhythm House.
It's called the Rhythm House. So it's been called 50 different things over the years.
At least.
Yeah. And it's like a little concert venue plus, well, I don't need to explain it. What's the restaurant?
Yeah. So when we bought it, it had local entertainment, maybe just on the weekend. Great, huge bar. There's an actual back bar that we never really got to use until now. But we took over 2 months after Ian destroyed our business down here, and we've been making improvements to it all the time.
How long has it been now?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. Wow.
This year,
I know.
be 3
Can you
years.
guys believe it's been 3 years? It's going to be 3 years since that storm came through. I mean, and I was down on the south end today. Things really look nice on the south end. I mean, I was bragging to Dave and Jorge about Leonardo Arms and the way they fixed the seawall and the sand down there, and you know the all the greenery and the landscaping looks nice. And we just need some condo buildings to open on the south end, and one restaurant down on the south end. So things are coming along, but 3 years just shows that we're getting friggin' old, for sure. Going to be 60.
60.
60.
Well, I just turned 50, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, did you have a party?
You were there.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
You were there.
See,
Remember?
when you turn 60, you forget shit. You don't
forget
even
things.
remember that you were at a party like that. So you also opened an ice cream shop right next door.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be 2 years now. that
2
we've had that.
years.
Mhm.
Wow. And then so something happened to one of the concert venues. Was that in Cape Coral?
No,
Or it was right
for-
before you go over the bridge to Cape
McGregor.
Coral off of McGregor,
Okay.
the
Well,
Buddha.
The Buddha.
the Buddha Live.
And what was that place was like where the cover bands would come in and perform?
Correct. Yeah, a lot of tribute bands. They had a lot of national acts too that came in. It's been known for that for many years. And they approached us 2 days before they closed, and asked if we wanted to take over the concert series that they had going there. So he approached us because he was in a band that actually played at our restaurant. The
Oh, no
owner,
kidding.
Matt, was. So that's why he came to us, and he knew that we had a facility that was capable of housing the bands that big. So,
People love cover bands, don't they?
oh my gosh, people fly in. People call us and say, "Where's the nearest hotel to the airport?" We're flying in
To see a
Because-
cover
to
band.
see a cover
Crazy
band
to me.
because they're
So
a lot of
crazy.
them are sanctioned by the actual artists themselves.
I see.
Some of them play on tour with them. So, and then some of the acts we have coming are the actual real bands. Maybe from the 80s or 90s, we have some actual real bands from that time also that are coming.
Like, give us an example
So
of
we have Saving Abel coming, the band Great White's coming.
Great White.
Yeah,
Was that the band where there was a fire?
the fire at that
Wow.
nightclub.
That was years and years ago.
That was in Florida, right? Orlando, I think.
Was it?
somewhere in that area.
Is
yeah.
that where the
Pyrotechnics?
Okay, yeah.
And the-
You don't
and
have
the-
pyrotechnics. at your
Absolutely
place.
not. Not even a bubble machine.
I can imagine with Great White showing up and pyrotechnics, it would
Yeah.
be a little PTSD for those guys.
I would say.
It's crazy though, for these tribute bands, they are ticket sale only, and we sell out for each tribute band that we've had so far. We give a free show and no cover charge, and you can't fill the place.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a variety, of things that we have going on, from karaoke to the bingo music, and then we have a guy named Pearl and Antoinette that brings in like doo-wop, and so you can bring your dancing shoes, and then to concerts now.
Yeah. So how many people fit in your location?
Seated, I think we have 320 seats. I think per the fire marshal, we're allowed just over 400
Mhm.
in there.
And so how many acts have you had so far since the Buddha went
7.
belly up? 7. And you have a lineup of some of the bands that are coming before we get to this big weekend event.
Yeah, so we have not this upcoming weekend. The 2 weeks from now, we have a Godsmack Creed cover band that's coming, a tribute band. And then the 31st is a big fundraiser,
Huge
which we'll talk
fundraiser.
about. And then we have Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Tom Petty,
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Wow.
We have all kind of bands ranging from, we have Led Zeppelin, so from the 60s through the 90s.
It's a great
basically.
crowd.
Which one has been the most popular so far?
I think the Motley Crue one we just had, but we just had George Lynch there. And George
really
Lynch
good.
was part of the 80s band Dokken and also Lynch Mob, but he's also played guitar for a lot of big bands, Van Halen. He was actually, when Ozzy Osbourne's original guitarist got killed in an airplane crash, he was one of the 2 people that Ozzy Osbourne narrowed his field down to take over and George is like well known throughout the world as one of the best guitar players.
You know, a lot of people were sad when Ozzy Osbourne died, and I just kept thinking, how the hell did that guy live to be as old as he did? I mean, with all the craziness he did, and
you got him. I mean, look at some of those rock stars. You got, you know, some of the guys that from those Rolling Stones. I mean,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like
crazy.
It's like, you know, we've got a dog, a bulldog that's 14 years old now. It's like, okay, I'm going to be sad when she passes away, but she's deaf. I mean, sometimes I feel like she can't see me. And at some point, you know, you've lived a good life, right?
Sure.
So when I'm 70, she's probably going to roll me down the stairs and say, you know, time to move on, please.
Right. She's going to play this back to you every night. And say, remember when you can't hear or see.
So you guys have a big fundraising weekend coming up.
We do.
I saw
August
you
31st.
had a flyer about that. I want to really invite you on about what's going on.
So on the 31st, we have 11 bands that will be at our place.
Wow.
Starting at 11 a.m. It'll end around
1
and we're raising funds for the Galisano Children's Hospital and also for a charity that helps musicians if they have an issue. Like after Ian, they put this together to pay the musicians that were here on the beach, to pay them for their lost income that they were having. So it's like a dual fundraiser. It's free to get in. We just ask that you make a generous donation, and
definitely
we have
free to get in.
Great food and great entertainment all day long.
Is that the tip jar? Is that the one, or is it
So it's
something
just coming,
else?
as you walk through the
No,
doors.
I mean the name of the charity.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it. Yeah,
because we've done a few things with them
yes,
too.
yeah, that's the gentleman.
But you guys have always done fundraisers since since we first met. We've always, you know, you've even gotten in trucks and driven them up. Where was the last one that you drove to?
For Milton, actually, was it Helene, Milton, Debbie, all of them.
You drove
all the way
a
up
truck
to North Carolina.
Yeah, clear to North
I
Carolina.
heard
Well,
about
we drove up there for Helene.
Helene, yes.
And then as we were up there in our Penske truck, Milton was getting ready to hit here. And, you know, that Penske truck only goes 62 miles an hour. So we're trying to get that thing to go as fast as we can to get back so we could get home before
help our
Milton
neighbors.
got here. But, yeah, we shut down our ice cream shop every year. Hopefully we don't have to do it this year, but we shut down our ice cream shop and turned it into a hurricane relief center. And I'd say over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect probably close to $1.5 million in donations from all over the country, and help our neighbors and help people, you know, clear up in North Carolina, the Big Bend in Florida, Sarasota, that area. We took a lot of trucks donations. So we've been able to help a lot of people since we've been here.
And the nonprofit is Music Alive Southwest Florida.
There you go.
Music
Alive.
Whoever that is watching.
Probably Randy, maybe.
Okay.
It's
It doesn't
either
say the
Randy
name,
or
but
could
it says
be
the
Doug.
group.
Doug is the owner of
The charity?
The School of Rock.
Oh, School of Rock. So
Yeah.
that's what's on the flyer, and that's what
Yes,
you're.
that's tied in also.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And so 11 bands, and what is it? All genres?
Pretty
Mostly
much all rock and roll.
alternative rock and roll.
Are the rock fans drinkers?
They are.
They are.
That's good.
They
Because I
are.
know sometimes some people would come to your place and
Yeah.
they'd watch one of those acts and they drink water the
It's
whole time.
a different demographic.
Yes, yes. So, and that's August 31st.
Correct. Yes. 11 a.m.
Yeah. Anything else you want the folks to know? How they can find out information, where they
You
can
can just follow us on
show up?
Facebook or our website. We have things 7 days a week, constantly going on at Mango's. From football's getting ready to start.
Yeah,
we
you
are
guys
a
have the
Buffalo
package.
Bills fan.
Yeah. That's
right
I'm
there.
not a fan, but I mean, we're a Buffalo Bills part.
Buffalo Bills official location for sure. It's
Yes, we
official.
are.
Like there's
Like the Bills
crazy
backer
Bills.
bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you guys miss the beach? Miss being on the
Oh,
beach,
yeah.
or are you used to
Of
the
course we do.
lifestyle over
Yeah.
there?
No, it was a culture shock, so to speak, whenever we got over there. You know, you go from seeing this beautiful view every day to staring at walls every day, and it's different. You know, we've adapted to it, and we'll change as time goes on. We love the new tribute bands, but you know, we moved here to be on the beach, so
Right.
hopefully someday we make that transition back,
never
whether
know
it
what
be
we're
here
gonna
or
do.
somewhere. But
Right, you're always doing something.
You
I mean,
never
you
know.
own something like this back in your hometown, right? You own
We did.
something way bigger than
Way
what you
bigger.
had. I
Way
mean,
bigger.
what was the? It was like an auditorium or you own half
We
the
owned
state or
a
some great.
nightclub,
Yeah,
a conference center, and a restaurant.
yeah. So this is small diddly
Yeah.
compared
Right.
to what you had. How big was the conference center? That you had?
35,000 square feet,
Jeez. And so, how many employees did you have up there?
close to 300.
And what was the biggest act you brought in?
we had Brett Michaels, we had David Allen Coe, we
Eric
had
Church.
Tesla. Eric Church played for us probably 20, 30 times before he made it real big. The band Living Color from the 90s. James Taylor. There's a lot of big name
Yeah.
acts that came to play for us.
Do you have Eric Church on your phone? Like you
I wish we could get him here. So it's
It
funny
was before
because
he got with an agent. He played
Nice.
for us.
our Jeep dealer at Galisano, he is the neighbor of Eric Church in his wherever he lives at. He has a vacation home there.
No kidding.
So when we went
I
and
think
bought,
we need a bigger place for
yeah,
that.
he's like,
Yeah.
we need to go to talk to Eric Church.
I don't know. I think Eric Church could probably play on
Yeah.
a
I
stage
would
out
say.
here. It'd be a
Yeah,
nice big crowd for
absolutely.
that. So
Yeah.
By the way, this is a beautiful place. First time in here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a nice
Yeah.
breeze.
Very
You know,
nice.
we usually do our show on Saturdays on the terrace at Lottie Da at License to Chill. See what happens when you get old? You got to pause. But it's just a little bit hot in the sun right now, so
Sure.
they accommodate us nicely, and it's
Very
a beautiful
nice.
place down here, and we're happy to be here.
Beautiful view.
Any final thoughts on your place, your event, how people can follow you, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, just follow us on Facebook and Margarita's FMB. We still have the FMB on the end for Fort Myers Beach. That's our website. So you can check us out there. It has a list of all the events, links to the tickets for the tribute shows.
We
And
still keep our local bands.
Yeah, we
just
still
so
have
you
our
know.
local,
I
so-
mean, we made it to where we just have a variety. We wanted not to burn bridges with our local bands and
Right,
to
right.
be able to,
I'm sure they might have felt like, hey, what's
Sure,
going on
sure.
here? I
Yeah.
thought we were all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we
in
kept our
season,
local bands.
we'll have the normal bands. Some of our normal regular local bands draw massive crowds.
Yeah,
in
like
season.
Gatlin.
I mean,
Yeah,
huge.
Gatlin, Daryl,
They
and
can draw 300
they
people
draw
for
huge
in
crowds.
season.
You know what I like the most about when some of this stuff goes on at your place like yours? People get out there and they dance,
yes.
and
They
they
do.
think
Like-
they can dance.
Well, there's some people
I
that
think I can
like
dance.
teach dance lessons. I mean, they're crazy what some of
You know,
those
the best
people-
place to watch people watch when people are dancing is at Laola's. When he's got the camera up and people are
Oh,
dancing at
yeah.
Laola's, that's some funny shit
I
right
bet.
there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everybody's having a good time, and that's
That's
all that
right.
matters. So
Yeah,
Well,
just
thank
come
you
check us
guys.
out.
thank
Yeah.
you guys for coming in.
Thank
Big
you,
hand for
Ed.
Jason and Jacinta, Margarita's Rhythm House on
Yes.
41,
Thank you.
and hopefully someday back here on Fort Myers Beach. Thank you so much for coming down. Appreciate it very much. Now, if you just showed up a little while ago, we are giving away prizes. If you want to fill out your name and your phone number, or we're not going to market you, or maybe we will. I don't know. I give all this information to Margaritaville, and they do with it whatever they like. Because if you put your name in this for the prizes today, we put like 6 or 7 weeks worth of prizes in a pot. And the next big prize we're giving away is a cruise for 2 on the Margaritaville ship, that little dinky ship they have out in the water out there. So please fill out your name. And at the end of the show, we're going to give away your choice of this mug, valet parking, or 2 giant Margaritaville drinks. So go ahead, pick that one up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a longtime friend from back in the day, back in the Pete's Time Out day. This is like a Times Square flashback. We're going back 100 years. Greg and I have been friends a long time, since probably the show started.
Just right after I moved here, right after you started.
Oh, you weren't here?
Yeah, I was watching a little bit, but I moved here probably 6 months after you started. I think maybe a little longer.
From
than
where?
That. From Cape Coral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cape Coral. We've been talking a lot about Cape
I'm
Coral
really
lately.
glad you didn't put me up here with Jason and Jacinta and yourself. You guys are also fit and like muscles bulging everywhere. It's
stop.
gonna give me a complex.
Speaking of that, you've been into the jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu,
and
yeah. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a year. It's awesome. I just extended my membership, signed up for another class, got my ass choked out like 10 times last night. It was great.
Wow, I don't know about that. So you also have been running for a while and or biking or something?
Biking and trying to get my cardio up. You know, the thing about jiu-jitsu is you got to have good cardio, right? Because it's a lot of cardio. So I try to get my cardio up, try to keep my carbohydrates down, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I remember one of the first times you were on the show was during the COVID days. Remember the COVID days where we did the show remotely and we were talking about, that's when we invoked a little bit of national politics and it just drove people crazy.
You know, the fun thing about COVID, I remember you interviewing John Lallow and him trying to sell liquor, and he had the bandana over his face, and you're giving him shit about the mask and all that stuff. I was so
opposed to the mask.
It wasn't fun at the time, but looking back, it was fun. It was,
it's stupid.
At least that part. It was,
being outside and the whole thing. Actually,
going to eat dinner with the plastic up, and all that. Kind of
stuff. And I remember when they had. I'm sorry if you guys are bored by this, but and Kim would be telling me she'd be doing this. But the one when the COVID hit and Times Square kind of shut down, they took all the tables, like the whole Times Square street was empty, like you could see, like you can now. But there was a road there, and I remember still trying to do the show, and I there was nowhere to sit, so it was me and Ray Murphy, who at the time when we were getting along, he would come on. He was like the longest running guest that we ever had on. It was me and him sitting on milk cartons doing the show, and he'd come down with his dogs, and he'd come on the show, and it was just the most bizarre thing because now there's usually a little bit of an audience.
Well, now look at you. I mean, who'd have thought?
Big time. And so it's just weird how time flies. Just, the way COVID was how many years ago, and 5 now.
2022, right?
2020,
Jesus.
20, right? COVID was 20, and then the storm was 23.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of the Seagate thing, how's your house coming along? I know you lost your house and you had some issues. So what's the latest on your house?
It's getting there right now. They're putting in plumbing and electrical and all that kind of stuff. Everything's way expensive. Everything costs way more than I thought it would. Everything takes twice as long as it should, but hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be getting stucco. All my doors and windows are in.
Nice.
And all that kind of stuff. We're finalizing floors and cabinetry. The problem with building a house when you have to take it over yourself, I'm not a house builder, right? I'm a tech guy. I hunt hackers for a living. So taking on a project of building a house and trying to, you got to pick out tile for this, and you got to pick, that stuff is not in my in my wheelhouse, right? So every decision comes to you, and you just got to kind of roll with it. But hopefully, we're really trying to get in by the end of the year. And when we do, we'll have a big party.
Nice.
It's going to be worth it.
And just a little free plug, not a free plug because he's our biggest advertiser. Michael Stewart came on board at some point, and I know, he's not cheap, but he's good, and he's probably one of the best. And
Mike is,
so you pay for what, sometimes you pay for what you get.
Mike is very pedantic. Let's put it that way.
Is that
that's a compliment. I mean, he's very attention to detail.
I'll have to Google that later.
Yeah, when he came in, Mike is a very strong personality, and I like that. I mean, I did nothing wrong with that. When he came into my house, he's like, "We're gonna do all this stuff," and he came and looked at it. He's like, "Okay, well, we can do some things," and he fixed everything. I'm very happy. My house is not going anywhere for when this beach is flooded over 1 million years from now. People are gonna be diving on my house.
Who is the builder?
Pardon?
Who's the builder?
So me. It's owner builder. Cole Stinson from Vessel Craft Homes to come in and did all the structural work. Cole's he's an island kid. He went to the beach school. He grew up on the island. He's a big boy. He has been 100% great to me. I'll call him a friend. I mean, he's been awesome. If anybody needs a custom home built, you can call Vessel Craft Homes. It'd be great. Yeah.
Quick story about Cole, and then we'll get on to the other stuff. I didn't know him from Beans back when the storm came through. And, when the first time that, the town is going through this thing with the fireworks costing so much money and the taxes possibly going up, Cole, the first time around when the town wanted to do fireworks, he took it over. I don't know where he came up with the money. He never wanted to tell everybody where he came up with the money. It could have come up out of his pocket for all I know, but nobody paid for the fireworks except for, from the town or the taxpayers. He covered all the fireworks. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember him saying, and he hooked me up with the guy who was on the barge at the time. I was broadcasting the fireworks here. He had the guy on the phone to me. He's counting down because I was playing the music. At the time, there was music, and he said to me, just make sure you start the music on time. So I made sure I was sober right till midnight and made sure I pressed the button because you have to have the music start at the right time.
And he asked for zero recognition.
No,
that's the kind of guy
did.
Cole is, right? He just, he does his thing, and he's a good egg.
So you're part of Protect FMB, which was an organization put together. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I will.
When the whole Seagate thing started, it was an organization to raise money to challenge the town's approval of Seagate.
Yes. So yes, protectfmb.org is a 501c3 not-for-profit. Like you said, we came together. It's several island residents to help fight the Seagate project and the town's process for approving the Seagate project. Excuse me.
Right. And so when the whole writ was put into court, it actually Protect FMB isn't the organization that files it. It has to be the neighbors around the neighborhood. So the names, you see names in the.
Yeah, and I don't speak Latin, so the writ of cicerosity.
Right, sure.
God bless.
It means
whatever.
challenging the decision.
It's challenging it's like an appeal, right? So people appeal decisions all the time to higher courts. So that's what we're asking is, hey, we don't feel the town followed this process. We don't feel they met the bar for competent and substantial evidence. You need to relook at what you did, and that we can't do that as a not-for-profit. That takes people who are affected by that, and so we have plaintiffs have signed on who live really, really close to where the Seagate development's going to be. They gladly signed on. We are just the funding arm of that, so we're not asking the residents because it's not cheap. Lawyers aren't cheap no matter what, and in the end, the lawyers always win. So if anybody's looking to donate, come to www.protectfmb.org. Come give us some money. We're happy to. We need to continue the fight, but that's our purpose. Our purpose is to help fund those legal activities so we can keep this going. And it's going. I mean,
so when these things get filed in court, you're really at the mercy of the judge.
Absolutely.
And how long the judge's docket is and other things going on. So all you can do. And I'm involved in it less than you are because you got, or whoever is involved in it, they probably know more from their attorney. I don't ever talk to the attorneys that have filed it, but I check the docket at least 4 or 5 times a day for four different
You're
cases.
better than me. I mean, I
but
can't
no,
check it that
because
often.
I'm watching La Ola's case going on. I'm watching your case, and I'm watching the recall case. So I'm constantly looking in there. And so finally something happens, and the town. You guys filed first. Obviously, you filed a complaint.
Yeah, we file the writ.
And then you wait for the judge.
You file the writ, and then you wait for the judge, and then the judge has to come back. And then the town has to respond.
Right.
So the judge can. I think the Seagate's attorney said, "Hey, we want to respond. We just need a little more time." They end up responding, and that's the response.
So
you smell the ganja around here. I mean,
because this is all I love local politics, and I love reading court cases, and I love all that stuff. And so when the town filed, now for people that don't know or don't care, the town and Seagate have joined together to defend themselves from the residents.
Very unfortunate.
Is bizarre when you think about it. It's bizarre in its own way. And I'm getting high just sitting right here. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know where that's coming from, but so the town, and to me, when I read it was like 90 pages.
There's a lot
that the town responded, and a lot of it's just.
It wasn't the town that was Seagate's response.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So now a lot of it's legal mumbo jumbo, and they're quoting cases and things like that, and your eyes glaze over, and then you get to a certain spot where you're like, wow, that was like a kick in the nuts about what they said about the residents, and I was like, that didn't seem necessary. It didn't seem like, and I actually, to be honest with you, I took that section out. I wish I could remember what it was. It was like you didn't, either the people have no right.
So they said 2 things that I think are important. And what's really important, we need to realize is that what the town's response, in addition, so you got to kind of expect Seagate's attorneys to come out swinging, right? And that's what we expected. So they're going to come out and say these things that, the town residents squandered their opportunity to give opposition to this, and that the residents don't have standing. How do you not chuckle that the people who are sitting right next to it don't have standing?
That was the most bizarre part of the whole thing.
You expect that from Seagate's attorneys. What we didn't expect is for our town just to file the Me Too response to that. So our town basically said,
or at least
hey,
take that part out. That part is a little mean.
Well, again,
I know that sounds
the town is
silly.
here. The town is here to represent residents, and I think by signing on to this, Me Too, we agree with 100% what Seagate says, is really a kick in the teeth to residents, especially because there were so many people that went, so many people, that myself included, who took multiple days off work to go sit in a very long meeting to give our 3 minutes of public comment, and for them to denigrate people who went there to give public comment, like, I'm not going to mention names, but like the residents who are on the lawsuit, because they're not giving public comment in legalese. I'm not a lawyer, right? And I don't think any of the residents that I don't know for sure, but I don't think many of the residents that gave up to give public comments are attorneys. You have 3 minutes. You cannot make a substantial legal argument in 3 minutes. It's not possible, especially when developers like Seagate and their experts get unlimited time. They get unlimited time to meet with town council. They get unlimited time during the hearings to give testimony, to rebut testimony from public comment. We get 3 minutes. Again, you expect Seagate and their high-paid attorneys and their high-paid consultants to come out and try to squash that. But for our town to agree with that, it's almost hurtful.
Well, and I know you tell me this all the time that the local residents hate me, but when that part of the information was put out, I actually pulled it out and I sent it to Dan. And I said, Dan, man, did you guys really need to say that about the people like that you're representing? I mean, did the lawyers? I felt like the town lawyers didn't even read it. That's the way. If I was a town lawyer,
that's hearsay. I don't know that, but I would agree with you.
And those guys, and I was like, there's no way you think they probably did, but how would you leave that in there? It's unnecessary. That was an unnecessary shot at the residents when they're already angry and hurt at what happened.
And listen, I've said this to every council member in private that I talked with before the Seagate vote. This is the dividing factor on the island.
100%.
This is why we have division on the island. This is at a
100%.
time that we don't need division. There's no reason they needed to approve this. Again, what do we get out of Seagate? Like us as residents or property owners on the beach, what do we get? We got a bathroom.
All right. Well,
that's what we got. I mean,
I don't want to debate the Seagate thing.
We can go over the public benefit all day long. Like, again, like it is.
I know. I know
asinine.
my opinion. I know my opinion doesn't mean anything, but I said this from the beginning. I still can't, to this day, believe that they got that. They got the tall buildings. Here's what I think now. You incorporated because of tall buildings.
Absolutely.
And you're about to get possibly a 26%, 29% tax increase. What is the purpose of having your own government if you're not going to?
And
I mean, that's the way I think about it.
This is a very touchy subject, I think. Now, am I in favor of going back to the county? I'm really not.
Because you're going to get wicked tall buildings.
Well, again, and I'm a full-time resident. I don't own any other homes. This is where I stay 365 days a year. Trying to have some kind of local control and control your destiny is very, very important as a resident on the island. The county is not going to care about that, in my opinion. So
it's a total tourist destination once the county gets hold of it.
But, our government was founded on government light, right? You hear that term all the time.
Yeah.
We're anything but government light nowadays, right?
I don't know. I think it is still government light, but it's leaning. I mean, even if you get a 29% tax
so you need to
increase,
build a house here, then you can tell me if it's government light. Like
the
amount of regulations and crap you got to go through. Like there's someone in the audience that couldn't plant sunshine mimosa in your front yard, right? I mean, literally,
what is that? Is that a weed?
It's not. It's actually a Florida native ground cover, but you can't plant it in your front
yard.
Why
can't you plant that?
Don't ask me. This is the freaking crazy rules our town have. It's like a huge HOA, the amount of rules you have.
I don't know about that.
You can't have a driveway that's over 24 feet. Like there's all kinds of crazy.
Well, you got to have some rules if you want to have a community.
Some rules are fine, but our town is almost overboard with some of that stuff. But going back to the important thing, which is Seagate, the thing that we have to realize is that what we're asking for is for the court to retake a look at what happened, retake a look at the process that Seagate used. And I don't think most people understand that Seagate used a process that was designed was supposedly designed for smaller businesses, right? So
it hasn't been used by one single small business yet.
It hasn't been used by anybody. So the largest buildings that are ever going to be built on our island use a process, this development agreement process that hasn't been tried or true or tested, hasn't been legally vetted, to push through these massive structures in the quiet center of the island, right? And again, have you drove by Seagate's lot?
Yeah, it would be nice if they cleaned it up.
It looks like shit.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
that's
tons
the
of
least they
invasive
could do.
plants. It's grown up. I mean, my house is being built. I got to keep my yard cut, and that place looks like they haven't done a damn thing to it. So I don't want to hear this. I'm a partner of the community shit anymore. I'm kind of over.
When I went by it today, I was looking for one of those red signs that said, "Cut your lawn" or something. I mean, the least you could do is pull the weeds.
And things that people need to realize is the cascading effects of approving developments like that. And I know some people are going to disagree with me, but I had a son that went to the beach school. He's in 6th grade now. But I guarantee you a big part of the reason that the school district decided not to open our beach school is when they approved that development.
Come on.
It's
How
not
are you,
absurd,
how are
but
you
because that's
tying the
exactly
two
when
together?
everything, because
How?
when the town says, I'm going in this direction, we're going to be approving tall condos, we're going to be approving big resorts, that's telling the school district that we don't really care that residents are here. This is what we want. This is what we're going to. Why would I as a school district have a school for that?
I don't want to debate the school with you. I don't think they want to spend the money, period. I just don't think they want to throw the money at the beach anymore. And they're waiting you out.
And the money that they spend on that school is mouse nuts.
I know, but I'm just saying,
nuts.
I don't think it had anything to, I don't want to, I just think that
I
they
will
don't want to spend the money. They
disagree
don't
with
want to
you.
spend the money because whether it's 39 kids or 50 kids or 60 kids or 70 kids, I just don't, I think they're looking at it as a whole financial situation that
If they would have built single family homes there, I think it would have been a little bit different.
maybe. But the other cascading effect thing, I think it's all, this whole thing is all about Seagate because there's really not a ton of other property other than London Bay.
But there's other, London Bay is went big. I mean, what they did with Moss Marine. Now, again, did we come out against Moss Marine? Not so much. Is it more than what I think that should be there? Sure. Is that an appropriate place for development? Yes, I think so. Do I think where Seagate's at? And that's the biggest thing is that an appropriate place to put two 255-foot towers?
Wait, Debbie Zaleski, she's
what's it?
a nut and a half.
Hey, Debbie, sunshine mimosa, sweetheart.
She wants to know the name of the plant so she can go out in her front
It's
yard.
really
and plant
cool. It has
today.
these little purple flowers on it.
Yeah, they don't like color on the beach. Everything needs to be
They want you to put grass in, which
dirt.
is weird. Like, I don't want grass.
and those ugly peanut, whatever the peanut things
Perennial
are
peanut.
that they have in
Perennial
medians.
peanut's good when it grows up, but again, like you talk about coming back to the county, that's a county road, right?
Yeah, but the town's allowed to maintain the median where there's and they put those weeds in. But I guess we're getting off the subject. So if the judge makes a decision before we all die, the possibility is he tells you guys no, or he tells the town council, listen, you need to relook at this. Which that's all it means. It doesn't really mean that anything changes unless something else happens.
That Seagate's attorneys brought up. They brought up the things we talk about the comp plan. It's really funny about our comprehensive plan and what Seagate did. So they're really good at picking and choosing very specific sentences from our comprehensive plan that bolster their argument. Which again, we can as public comment, we can get up there and say, hey, listen, you're not reading the whole thing, and literally it just fell on deaf ears, right? So there's again, you go back and look at the tapes. There's so many people there trying to get their 3 minutes in to say, hey, listen, we don't want that. And they were totally ignored. And this is the problem we're going to have going forward when it comes to, we're not seeing a whole lot of people going to town. People don't think their voices are being heard or they're being listened to. When you have that much opposition to a project that has no benefit, and it's literally zero benefit to tourists or residents, which is the benefit should be for residents, but and they pass that without even blinking an eye. It's hard for people to get involved because they don't feel like they're being heard. What else do you have to do? What else? I would challenge any of the three that voted for this to tell us exactly what we would have had to do different to get them to change their minds. And there's nothing because we just don't have the time.
Well, I think what part of the way I look back at it now, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, you do it all the time.
You're normally wrong.
You look back at it, and I think people thought that it was never going to pass. It would be the furthest thing that could ever be approved because it was way too tall.
Right.
And so what happened was maybe they didn't pay attention as much as they should have until they really needed to, and they saw that this might pass. And then you get a meeting where every single one, except for the London Bay guy, was opposed to it. I mean, it was really 99%.
A guy who doesn't, you can take that as a grain of salt, right? The guy who doesn't live here, who's the developer, he's for Seagate.
Yeah, he should have never.
Oh my God, I couldn't have ever guessed that.
So the thing that I think people trusted that it was never going to pass, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah, and that's the problem. This is why the island is so divided right now. I don't want to say 100%. Divided. This is why people are just plain pissed off.
Yeah,
people are just upset, and because we don't feel like, listen, and all the things that, and I'm not going to mention names, but certain counselors have said, you know what, we're never going to let someone combine residential properties and turn that into commercial. And what they do with Moss Marine, they did exactly that.
I don't remember somebody saying that. Who said that?
Someone said that to me. I won't give names, but listen, that was when I said.
But nothing's going to be the same. I mean,
it doesn't matter if it's the same, but we have a plan for a reason. Like, go to Sanibel, and I'm not saying we need to be exactly like Sanibel, But you go over to Sanibel, they're very, very strict on how they're being
Yeah.
rebuilt. Sanibel's still beautiful. My son goes to school there right now. Sanibel School is great. The island looks wonderful, right? We can find a good balance. That's not balance. What they put there is 100% a slap in the face to the people that live here full time. It's in the quiet center of the island. It's
Okay.
where residents are at.
We've gone over that 100 times. So back to the process. So this kit, perhaps it gets kicked back to the town council, and they could just decide to do the same thing.
They could.
Now, this council, I don't know if they would. You see, now you really saw the momentum of people that were
I don't
upset
know. You know,
about
I
it.
have
I don't know
no
if they
faith.
would.
I have no faith that they wouldn't vote
Yeah.
the same way again. They went against all reason to vote for this the first time, right? And again, they can't give me. I've talked to most of them. They can't give me a single good reason of why. Why? Again, give me why you voted yes for this. Don't tell me the island's stagnating. I mean, Tom Torgerson was on your show last week, I think. Said, hey, listen, we're at the same occupancy right now that we were in season. It's freaking August, right? So the island isn't stagnating. And when you come here in season, like, again, it takes 2 hours to get off the island. We're not stagnating. Again, our property values are up. We're, I think, back to what we're getting pre-Ian as far as property taxes. So the financials, I mean, again, the town, the tax increase is one thing, but to use Seagate to say that we need to do this for financial reasons when you're not going to see revenue from that for at least 10 years, maybe longer. You want to have?
Yeah, I want to see if Tom will come over.
He wasn't interested in
Come
coming
on,
out
Tom.
because
Tom is. I think he's officially like the president of
He
Protect
is.
FMB, and
he is our fearless leader.
He's been on the show. He's been a great friend to the show, and we appreciate that very much. And I would just like to get
I can get closer to Ed if you want.
Tom's perspective on the process of whether or not you think the judge will kick it back to the town council, and B, whether you think this town council is heard enough to change their vote.
I have faith in our attorneys, and the judge, from what I hear, is very pragmatic, and he's a fair individual, and I'm hoping because of that he'll see through what was done. And it's really no harm to the town to send it back. And I don't think it's any additional cost to the town to send it back. And we had wished that the town had accepted it back. I think they could have done a no contest response to the writ, and they didn't. And that was very painful to see that, because they're actually causing us to spend, us, the residents, and the town, I assume, additional funds to fight this thing. So I think that it's disturbing through that process. Now, the judge gets the view, and I think he's got a balanced view, and I think he'll see that some of the process questions, which is what the writ is really all about, that he'll see that they made some mistakes in the process. That's okay. I mean, our town councilors are not perfect individuals, and I see that, and that's okay. I mean, they didn't know all the intricacies of the things that they were asked to vote on in the process. And I don't think they ran it to the process. And in spite of the fact that the town attorney said, yes, that's okay, you follow the process, they really didn't follow the process. And I think she had to say that, because if she doesn't say that, then immediately, this is why she said it, immediately, I believe, the whole thing gets thrown out. And she didn't want that to happen. So she has to assume that position. Now, I think the judge will see through that. That's what I hope. Now, in terms of, do I think that they'll vote differently? I'm afraid, this is just a feeling, but I'm afraid that no. I think that they're going to vote exactly the way that they did before. I sat through the meetings. I came, Ed, when you brought them, and I wanted to look them in the eyes. I wanted them to say something, and they had the opportunity to say, yes, we could have done this differently. We could have done it, and I'd like to take it back. I'd like to hear more evidence. I'd like to give the townspeople, because the real reason, as you said, Ed, that we did not think that was going to fly. It was going to get approved. And I sat through all the meetings in the LPA and protested it at every LPA meeting and town council, and I didn't think it was going to be approved. And had they approved that, look at the timing. I would have guaranteed that had they approved that earlier, because 80% of the votes were cast prior to the approval. The votes in the election were cast prior to the approval, because remember they said that Greg Scasny wasn't elected because of Seagate. Well, wasn't elected because, you know, they had the right. Well, they didn't. And I think that had they voted and voted for Seagate, this guy would be sitting in office today.
Yeah. So the process that they went through, you think they didn't follow? I don't. That's the one thing I don't agree with the vote, but I can't figure out how they didn't follow a process. They've created these back doors like a, you know, the development orders and the CPDs, where it kind of basically tells you don't really have to follow the comp plan. You can do this sideways thing, like over on Sanibel, you can't ask for variance.
Right.
That's the difference. You know the answer the minute you come to City Hall. It says no on the front door. There's no LPA that you go to. There's no town council debate. You're not allowed to ask for variance. So to me, even if they kick it back, I mean, I can't see the judge kicking it back, unfortunately, because I didn't see, what did I see that was wrong with the process, Tom?
Well, one of the things is that they were blatant in saying that they took in outside evidence, and that's how they made the decision.
Like,
now,
what do you mean outside evidence?
One of the town council members said that they relied on the words of one of their friends, and that was what influenced their decision to vote for Seagate. Well, they can't do that.
But just to play
you have to present it in that room.
Yes.
They have to walk into that room completely neutral, and they cannot take any outside evidence. They just, if it isn't presented in the room, they can't vote on that evidence. And they multiple council members admitted to doing that. They're just unfamiliar with the process, I think.
Well,
they talked about what influenced them. Well,
I don't remember, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember any of the council members saying, I met with X outside the room and he influenced or she influenced me. But I do know on every single project, every single council member meets with every single developer, including Bill, I mean, you can go back 100 council members. You're allowed to do that. How are you not? And the developer is trying to influence the council member to
And
convince
that's a problem
them.
that it's to me.
But that is part of
it is, and that's a problem that developers get to meet outside the sunshine.
But that's not a violation. That's part of the rule.
That's not what we're saying. Even in the writ that comes down, what we're saying is that they have to have, and there's a legal term for them. I'm not a lawyer, but substantial and competent evidence, right?
Yeah.
Competent evidence means that it has to come from experts. When someone relies on the testimony of someone from the LPA who's not sworn in as an expert and says, the reason I'm voting for this is because
I know what you're talking about.
And when someone else says,
Yeah.
I talked to the owner and the previous owner of the Red Coconut, and she says, like, this the reason I'm voting for is because what she said. And again, who's the lady who's on camera saying there's not going to be big towers here.
Right.
Right.
I think what you guys are, not you guys, but I think you're trying to make that sound like, believe me, I'm not defending that. I'm not trying to defend that. I'm just trying to figure out how this gets back to the town council. It's like, that wasn't the only thing, the only reason they voted for it. That wasn't, even though that you're highlighting that.
So then tell us what
Well, I'm sure if you go back to the meetings, you can watch.
No, yeah,
I mean,
we
okay,
have
let's say,
transcripts of them all. We paid
all right,
off
so
for
John
them.
King says, I think it was John who said, Jim Dunlap said this at the, am I getting the names right?
I'm not speaking about names.
I don't want to call somebody out wrongly. Is that, do you remember? Anyway, one of the council members, is that right? John said something about Jim, but he also listened to all the evidence from he's sitting there at the meetings. And I mean, so he could have said that. I'm not defending the vote. Believe me, I'm not defending. I was shocked.
But you're making a big assumption that wasn't the factor. You say it wasn't the factor.
But if he says
it was the factor,
But he said in the public meeting,
Right.
This is the factor, right?
And
So
after
who
the
do you believe?
And after
I don't know.
After the fact, of course, what are they going to say? But are there doubts in the residents' mind? Yeah, there's doubts
sure.
in my mind.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know if I'm not a lawyer. You just try and play
let's
those
go this
things
way.
out.
So after this vote, you think John and Karen get elected? If that all the recall crap aside, come November next year, you think John and Karen get reelected again?
Not a chance. And I mean, I think I've said this on the show. I don't think they have a chance. And I'm being honest with you. I think it doesn't matter what I think, but there's 100% going to be a recall, 100%. And unfortunately, that's very unfortunate for this town that there's a recall on top of the Seagate thing. It's all unfortunate. And I mean, I know
Again,
people are angry.
If our town council would have stood with our residents, we wouldn't be here. The blame for all the crap that's happening right now is on those three counselors, 100%. And you can disagree with me, but that's 100% where it comes from.
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. It's hard for me because they're all my friends.
If they would have represented the island like they were supposed to, represented their constituents like they were supposed to, we would all be singing Kumbaya right now. We'd all be drinking mimosas and having a good time. But no, now we're here. You know, Tom just got into his house. I'm building a new house. One of our other members, Lori over here, she just moved to a new. We're all very busy. I got other shit to do than to try to fight the town on Seagate. But it's important to us. This is our home. This is where we live. And we need to fight to protect it.
One of the things that was odd to me was not anybody, but it said, because there are tall buildings around the area. And then I go over to Red Coconut and I'm looking up and I'm like, what other tall buildings are we talking about?
That's part of Seagate and their attorneys and their consultants picking certain sentences out of our comprehensive plan and not reading it in full. You know, and that's actually what it says in Hythe. It says, listen, if you are so surrounded by tall buildings that it would be unfair to you to not let you build a building that's tall, then we could consider that.
Yeah.
It's not what it says about the Red Coconut. Now, I understand they bought it, like them guys from my understanding, there was an offer to put in homes there before Seagate bought it, and that didn't go through.
You mean a different buyer?
A different buyer, yeah. But that's what was supposed to go. That's the quiet center. This is, again, that's where Tom lives. That's where I live. That's the quiet center, residential center of the island. And we're going to have, we got nothing. Residents got nothing for that. Nothing.
Well, they'll tell you that they got a lot of beachfront property that they're not going to build on.
Well, there are building. That's a misconception. What they're building on the beach is what they're allowed to build to by right. They're going to be 3 stories above flood. Right. You're not going to see the beach. They're giving you maybe an 80-foot, maybe not a view corridor. That's worth 17, 15, 14, 16 story. Like, again, what they're going to, and everything on the beach is private. People, I have an argument with my neighbor all the time. He's like, people like I love Margaritaville, right? Margaritaville had a lot of support. Margaritaville passed unanimously in their final version to the LPA and council. There were websites. There were people that were hugely supportive of Margaritaville. You didn't see that with Seagate. Why? Seagate is 100% private. They're going to have a restaurant on Estero Boulevard side, supposedly, and everything on the beach side is private residents only. The walkover they're going to put across our public road, 100% private. It has, again, what do we get out of it? A freaking dog watering station. Yeah, that's worth it.
A little more than that. You got a nice park.
No, this is a great thing. Yeah. Anybody here know what a linear park is?
I'm egging them on now.
Yeah, linear park. Yeah, it's a fancy word for a freaking sidewalk. I was going to swear really bad. It's a path. That's woo, boy. That's
you got a roundabout too. The roundabouts are cool.
They don't even own the property for that roundabout. That's their roundabout in the park that they're giving to the town.
So Tom, let's say, have you had any private conversations? You don't need to answer me, of course, with any of the council members that, in case it does go back, you feel like perhaps the vote could swing 3-2, or do you think that they can't change their vote now? It's just they're too in deep, or they really think it's a good project?
I have not had conversations to that effect with any council member, so I don't know that they're going to vote differently. I just suspect their language. They could have said, as I said before, yes, it's okay if it comes back. We're willing to look at this again. Seems reasonable to me. And if we presented with new evidence, which I think we could do, because this time around we would bring an attorney to those discussions so that we would have more than our 3 minutes. We would bring a planner in because they bring their hotshot planner who manipulated all the words in our agreement. We would have our hotshot planner to address everything that they said back to them, because we would have the time to do it. So let's give us that opportunity is really all we asked for. So it was a real kick in the teeth when they said, no, you're just not doing that. We're joining Seagate and everything they say is correct. When as you've said, there's so much nonsense in that rebuttal that their view corridor says to the water. If you can see the water from the back of their property, the bay waters, like I said, to them, you've got Superman's eyes, because you have the Matanzas Pass Preserve there and no one can see the water. If you can see the water, I said, stand out next to this pool here and you can see the water past Margaritaville's pool, raise that pool up 3 feet. I've taken pictures out here. You cannot see the Gulf waters. A view corridor is to the water. It's not to the air above the water. With their definition of a Gulf view, my house in the middle of the island has a Gulf and a bay view because I could see the sky above the Gulf. It doesn't pass any kind of test for the truth.
And realize our response was our response. It wasn't a legal response. That was our response that we wrote. It wasn't a response from our attorney.
What do you mean yours? When you first filed
the one, no, the response that I gave you that you
Oh.
posted, we put out, that was from
Gotcha.
us. It wasn't a legal response from our
First, you got to
attorney.
pay for that.
Listen, they're not cheap.
I know.
Yeah, again, www.protectfmb.org. If you want to donate, we'll absolutely take your donations.
I know you're not going to tell me how much, but have you been able to keep enough to cover the expenses at this point? And we're still, you never know how much longer it's going to go.
Yeah, that's the problem. You never know how much longer it's going to go. You know, we're not like, you know, we don't keep a war chest, right? We're not trying, we understand people are getting little donation fatigue. And so you know, we're not trying to stockpile a bunch of cash. We're just trying to make sure we keep our heads above water, that we have enough to pay to keep this going. And that's what we try to do. We try not to be, you know, so much in your face, like give, but you know, it's going to come time. This is going to come from the judge. We're going to need to raise some more capital to make sure.
And so there's not going to be like a court hearing or anything like that, right? This will be just a judge. Okay, you said this, you said this. I'm either going to say back to the town council or not, and that's the end of it, right?
That I don't know.
Don't know all the ins and outs, but from my understanding, we'll be given an opportunity to respond to their response. So that would be the next step.
How many times is this going to go on? And,
Well,
I mean,
that
how
would
rich
be-
do you want to make the attorneys, Tom?
Well, yeah, that's, I don't. But, so there could be another session of that. The judge, from what I understand, could call for oral presentations. And that's when the bills
brother.
really go up.
Yeah.
Because once they start doing that, then we would get depositions, and depositions are very expensive. It would be fun, though. I mean, part of me wants to depose,
Yeah, but
depose all these people. I'd love to depose Fran Myers and say, well, what did you really think about this?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
And
That
but
would
the
be
other thing
fun to
too is that
depose.
now you guys are raising more money, which is more residents paying for that. Then the town, I don't know if the town's insurance covers that, but whatever, it's more money that the town's going to pay out for attorneys, and it's been a nonstop money pit.
What should we do?
And then
Yeah,
you
but
add
what-
the other
yeah,
side of it too.
So what?
But again, what he said, what should we do? Should we just roll
What should
over
we
and
do?
take it? That's just not going to happen.
Who knows?
There's just there's too much at stake here. Like literally, these are generational decisions that they're making that affect not only my. I mean, it really affects my life plans, or it affects many people's life plans who live in those neighborhoods. And we just can't to roll over and say, okay, let's just go. That's not right.
You see, I think the easiest thing to do would be for Matt to say, listen, I made a mistake with 17. I want to come back with 12 or whatever, because it seemed like the town was, they were cutting people down in different areas, but they were still approving projects, and people were like not irate about certain projects like Moss. I mean, Ben came in at the beginning and said, my plan is my plan. Well, that didn't really turn out to be the plan. And then they Terry came up with this wacky concoction over here that went nowhere, and they knocked that down. And so you see that there was some negotiation, but I mean, maybe.
But again,
well, why would he? Why would he? He got
but
approved.
That's what it comes down to. Is like residents are tired. I mean, we put it all on the line for Seagate. People were there. People wrote letters. I guarantee if you look at the totality, and I had someone who requested 6 months ago, maybe even longer, for all the communication from Seagate from the town. We still haven't got it. All the emails and all that kind of stuff.
It's government
right?
light, man. It takes a while.
Well, listen, whatever. But I guarantee that the vast majority of what they got was negative to Seagate. We went to, again, 3 town council meetings to do all this stuff, and they still don't listen. So why are they why would anybody spend another minute, going and having their voices heard when, I mean,
when this
Tom goes up there and speaks.
He was the only one the other day.
I know, but it's awesome. I'm really glad he does that. But when you're not being listened to, and you have no chance, like their minds are made up, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to push through what they want. And it doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth or anybody else's mouth during my 3 minutes.
I don't want to harp on it. I did want to ask you another thing, but I didn't feel like they had their minds made up. I really couldn't read Jim. I mean, I'm not saying I could read the other ones. I knew where Dan was going to go. I was surprised by Scott, but he decided he was going to vote no. I really didn't know which way Jim was going. And I don't think Matt knew which way Jim was going until the very last minute. And,
I'll respectfully disagree.
well, those are from actual conversations. So you can tell me you disagree, but I don't perceive any of them as lying to me. But so the other side of this is I didn't want to talk about it too much, is because you and I have gotten to major arguments about this. Not Tom. I've never argued with Tom. You have the recall coming up, and Bill said that you got enough signatures for the second round, which is congratulations if that's what you guys want to.
Not us guys. Protect F&B has nothing to do with the recall.
Well, but you guys have signed it, so I mean, it's not a secret that you haven't signed and I mean, so the other side of this is if the judge, I mean, I guess the way you guys are all thinking perhaps is that if you can get two different people in and the judge does kick it back, then you win. Is that the way you're thinking?
Well, that's a good strategy, I would think.
I mean,
I don't know.
So.
Well, at least have a chance. Again, we're not Protect F&B has zero to do with the recall. We're not part of the recall.
I see you guys made a pact that you didn't want to talk about this, which is fine.
It's not our, again, we're here representing our not-for-profit Protect F&B, which has absolutely nothing to do with the recall. We're here to talk about Seagate and how we stop Seagate.
Let's just finish up on the recall while I have you here. If there is a recall, are you going to run?
I don't know.
The last time you said no.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you're not a no anymore.
Well, you know, there's some things happening in my personal life. We'll see.
Is everything okay with you and your wife? She's sitting here. She's smiling.
My wife is wonderful.
No, Lori's not a resident. Lori would be a great candidate, but he said you're not a resident, right? So you can't run yet. Someday. So you're not a no. So, okay, that's interesting. Is there anybody that your names you want to throw out there that that everybody should be aware of?
I'm not going to put people on the spot like that.
Right.
I mean, it is a lot of work. I mean, being on town council is a lot of work.
But it could only be for 1 year.
But that's the thing. It's only for
an important year. Very important.
Well, it will be an important year if Seagate comes back. I mean, they've already passed some things that I think are detrimental to our island. That there's nothing we can do. We can't fight. The problem is, again, we're small. We're a very small not-for-profit. Like, we can't fight everything. It's a shame.
So if you're a betting man, Tom, this going to get kicked back by the judge to the town council? I mean, what's your gut feeling?
Well, I listened to our attorneys, and our attorneys said this when they took the case on, that they think that we had a very, very good chance of having this thing kicked back. So I don't know all the legal ins and outs, and I don't know the judge, but they said the judge is a good guy too. He's not, I mean, they have a judge that grew up on Fort Myers Beach. That would have been a slam dunk for us. But we have a judge that'll look at the case, and I've got to trust in his review of it and what he says. And I'll live with it, whatever they say, but we definitely think we have a really strong case.
And to be honest with you, I don't think the lawyer is ever going to tell you, I don't think we have a case. Well, he's taking all your money.
Well, of course. Of course.
But I do know they're good attorneys, so
yeah,
that's why they're not cheap. So what do you think?
Yeah, I will concur with what Tom said. I think we have a really good chance with what happened. I think that it will get kicked back, and then what happens from there happens from there. So, but we got to take it one step at a time. You can't put the cart before the horse.
All right. Well, we always appreciate you guys coming on and talking about this, and good luck with everything, Greg. And Tom, thanks very much. And you guys, good luck with everything. And we are going to have one more guest. Oh, I got it. Yeah, you just want to turn it that way. There you go. Thank you very much. Too. Big hand for Tom and this guy, Greg. Before our final guest, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors is back. He took a little break, but Power Block Builders. If you want to, just in that name there, your house is never going to fall down on Estero Boulevard. Power Block Builders has over 35 years of structural experience, 8 years in the business, and they've been focused on rebuilding Fort Myers Beach. Come on down, Dave. They have Meet the Builder Days to showcase the homes currently being built. They can build all kinds of beach homes, from stick-built to cottage homes to luxury custom homes. And they have a remodel department for all hurricane-related issues like roofing, drywall, stucco, flooring, and more. Give Power Block Builders a call at 239-849-1919. 239-849-1919. And also Alex King. Alex is going to give us a walk-around tour next Saturday. He told me, it's going to be somewhere across from the Whale. They have a bunch of nice houses over there. We're going to go up and down some streets next Saturday at 8 o'clock. But if you want to buy a new home or sell your home or buy some property, if you got a few $1 million burning a hole in your pocket, Give Alex King a call, and his phone number is 239-219-0336. 239-219-0336. All right, one final guest today. Last but not least, you pick which microphone you think is going to work the best for you.
Hello,
Dave.
hello.
There you
Yes,
go.
yes.
Dave Nusbaum, everybody, friends of ours from Wisconsin. When we've done our Wisconsin show, we stay on their lovely house, at their lovely house on the lake. What's that name of the lake? Lake Luna?
Loon Lake.
Loon Lake in Wisconsin. And it's a lovely place. And you come down for a couple of days because you're the chair of the Marine Environmental Resources Task Force Committee. Every year they add a new letter onto their committee. It used to be the MER committee. Now it's the MRF with an F in there somehow.
It's the Marine Environmental Resource Task Force
Committee. There should be a turtle on there and a bird, and they had a few more letters. So you came down, you had your meeting on Wednesday-ish,
Wednesday.
and you're back in your condo at Island Winds. You gave
That's
us a nice tour of that. Dave, I said, Dave, did you go to Junkanoo last night to have some dinner? He said, no. I went out and put a steak on the brand new grill and sat in the pool. So that had to be nice. First steak you had on the grill in 3 years.
3 years. It's been a long rebuild.
Yeah.
But we're open and back in the saddle.
And
So
is that like they rent them out, or is it mostly people that live there? What's the skinny?
it's I'm sorry, I didn't.
What's the story? People can rent out their units?
Oh yeah, we're open for business. We have probably 70 units that are available for rent. We're taking rentals. You can go on our website, islandwinds.fortmyersbeach.com, and we're taking reservations. We're about a third booked
Nice.
into 2026 for the high season. So if you're planning on coming down, give a shot. Everything's brand new. We've rebuilt everything. So
Looks great. Yeah, the south end really looks nice. I mean, the landscaping and the green grass, and of course, Estero Boulevard looks super nice down there.
it was 3 years of the toughest years of my life,
Really?
putting it all back together. I talked to you earlier, and I was explaining the elevator roof, and you said, Dave, I'm not an expert in that.
He's talking down to me about the elevators, like I'm supposed to know what an elevator. I mean, I should know by now because everybody on this island has had elevator issues.
And in the last 3 years, I've had to learn about elevators, plumbing, electrical. I'm the association president, and you literally have to become a jack of all trades, but expert in nothing.
How much damage? How much worth of damage to your building?
We have two 13-story buildings, and the total bill came out to $17.5 million
$17.5 million. Holy smokes.
to put them all back together again,
And assessments for sure, and your insurance went up,
and everything. So
And did you from that 17 point, you don't need to tell me if you don't want to, but did you get fully reimbursed by insurance?
well, a lot of insurance doesn't cover pools, fencing, landscaping. That's all out of owners' pockets. But the public adjusters and the public adjusters and attorneys made about $650,000, and we ended up getting reimbursed almost for all of the damage that occurred from either flood or wind insurance. But it was a battle.
Yeah. It's not like they just write the check when you come knocking.
We fought the wind. We fought the wind guys. We fought FEMA. We fought them for flood. It was a total battle.
So the Marine Environmental Resources Task Force Committee gives out a couple of awards, and you're here to talk about one, the Mulholland Award.
Well, yes, that's correct. But first of all, let me apologize to you.
Thank you.
I would have come here last week,
Totally unacceptable.
but I had to rearrange my sock drawer, so I missed.
Nice.
I missed your anniversary celebration here.
We just want to thank, we'll thank people more tomorrow, but we had 200 people in a waiting list for the party, and Margaritaville put out a nice spread, and I don't know if you saw pictures of the cake, and they did a great job, but more on that tomorrow.
Okay. But the real reason I'm here is I am one of the members on the MRF Advisory Committee, and I'm operating as chairman. One of the honors that we have at the MRF Committee is to select and advise the town council as to recipients and who we feel should be the award winner for the John Mulholland Award. And it's the Mayor John Mulholland Stewardship Award. John Mulholland was mayor in 2000 and died in office. The town created this award. He was a steward of the island. He created the MRF Committee, and we are honored to get to go through the applications and advise the town council as to who we think should be the top considerations for the award. So at this point in time, I'm here just to remind everyone that online, and I don't know if you can see this, I'm holding it up.
It's, by the way, if you want to nominate somebody, you can go on our website, beachtalkradionews.com, and we have this story with the link to the online application. You can also get it at the town's website. It takes a little work to get it at the town's website. If you look for John's picture, he's got a little handlebar mustache. That's the picture in the news story. It's probably 5 or 6 stories down on our site.
And this is open to any individual or company or 501c3 that demonstrates the stewardship of living on the island.
What does that really mean? Demonstrate stewardship.
Well, stewardship is to preserve and protect the environment while at the same time working to benefit the people that live here.
Can I write in Matt Price's name, or is that?
Pardon me?
Never mind. Never mind.
So I'd read the fine print, but it's very fine. And
It is fine. It's very tiny.
But so we are accepting applications. The applications are available online. Please fill them out.
And the deadline
Send
is
them August 31st.
31st.
Please send them to Amy Baker, our town clerk. She will give them to the MRF Committee. We are meeting the second Wednesday of September, and we will go through all the applications, make our selections, and then advise the town council as to who we think they can do it. And we are nothing but an advisory committee.
Right.
So the town may accept our advice. They may modify it. They may pick all. They may pick none. But we will give our applications to the town, and they will make their decision.
All right, Dave. And I will make sure to push that out again in our newsletter and on the Facebook. And people can go on the town's website, or they could just take a copy of your application in your hand.
So please, everybody, if you have someone in mind, this is one of the highest honors that the town of Fort Myers Beach bestows on residents, individuals, companies, or 501c3s. So
thank you. Big hand for Dave Nusbaum, everybody, the chairman of the Marine Environmental Resources Task Force Committee. And before we go, we're going to pull a name out. You pull it out. I don't want to be charged with cheating in any way. Pull the name out, Jorge. Yeah. If you pull your name out, we got to put it back in. And the winner is Jorge Barrera. Just kidding. Just kidding. Kevin Kroger. Kevin, all right. You want you get the cup, or you get the 2 giant margaritas? Yeah, 2 giant. You see the size of those margaritas? Holy smokes. Wait till you see how big they are. I hope you weren't drinking, because you're going to be hammered after those 2 drinks. A big thank you to all our guests today, and I appreciate it. And I made it the whole hour without having to go to the bathroom, so that was very cool. Did you guys notice that? I'm wearing a special kind of diaper this morning, and I want to thank Dave for recommending the diaper that I have on now, so thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow from Wahoo Willie's. Thanks to Tom and to Greg and to Jacinta and Jason and Jorge and Dave, and we will see you all tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Wahoo Willie's. Bye-bye.